Hey everyone, thank you for listening to Communicate 101 Speaking Writing Tips, your podcast channel for effective communication skills. And I'm your host, Sarika Singh. On this podcast, I talk to you about becoming an effective communicator in life, be it branding, communications, how to pitch to clients, creative writing skills, how to speak, when to speak, tips to avoid and handle those goof-ups, how to break the ice and start conversations, and everything around this topic that walks through my mind. This episode begins.
Dear Sarika, I'm always scared of comforting people. Frankly, I have no idea how they feel or what they need. I feel like there's a lot of words I can say, but I don't want to say something to make it worse. And because I'm usually quiet, whenever it's about consoling someone, people find me cold. They feel I don't care, and because of that, I lose friends that way. Because I can't communicate well, I need your help. Help me out. Deepti writes from Agra, UP. Brinda from Meghalaya wrote to me something on similar lines on my Insta handle communication_coaching. She writes, there have been many situations where someone I know is sad or is hurting in some way, and all I do is stand around and do nothing. I've learned that I completely don't know how to comfort someone. Where can I start? I can totally understand where this is coming from, Deepti, and where this is coming from, Brinda, because believe you me, you're really not the only ones who struggle when it comes to comforting someone or consoling someone. We all live in a society. We are all social animals. We look at each other for validation, for appreciation, for support. And when we cannot offer any of these well, our social quotient suffers, because of which we lose friends or we become loners. With no one by our side when we need them. Why? Because we weren't there for others. Because we didn't know how to be there. When someone we know is going through a tough time or has lost someone, we often feel unsure. We don't know what to say or do. Sometimes we end up talking too much. Sometimes we completely avoid them altogether. Neither of these help. It just makes us feel guilty and might make the other person actually feel alone. But here's the thing. When we're hurting, there are common feelings most of us go through. Even though everyone's situation is different, figuring out how to comfort someone isn't easy. Why? Because everyone likes to be comforted in their own way. Some people want a hug. Others might just need some space. Some just want someone to listen to them. It's something we kind of have to figure out as we go. When someone you really care about is feeling sad or going through a tough time, you naturally want to make things better for them. And that too, as fast as you can. Knowing the right way to console and support your friend when they are dealing with grief or loss can show them how much you care and help them feel supported when they're feeling really down. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Communicate 101 Speaking Writing Tips, your go-to podcast for improving your communication skills. Today we're diving into something really tender but really important. How to be there for your friends and console them when they're going through a tough time. Whether it's dealing with grief, pain, loss, any kind of hurting, I've got some practical communication techniques to share with you, and all these will help you support your pals through anything that life throws their way. So grab your headphones and your AirPods or turn your speakers, keep a notepad and pen ready to scribble some notes as you get ready to learn some valuable tips for being that awesome friend that you actually are. Let's dive in. pain or grief or loss can have any face. It could be a breakup, it could be loss of a job, a bankruptcy, a terminal illness, or the worst, loss of a loved one. This is life, and we all go through some, if not all, such losses, sometime or the other. While we all deal with our losses in our own way, there is one common thing which is at the core of it all: the pain. And that pain is painful, is hard. It's been 14 months and 1 day since I lost my dad, and I've been in pain. I've had moments where I've cried and needed friends around. I've had moments when I've been angry, irritable. I would snap at everyone for no reason. And yet there have been periods when I'm quiet. I don't want to meet anyone. I need my solitude, my own space. I think we all have our own mechanisms, our own ways of coping with our losses. Having said that, I have so much love and respect for all my friends who helped me cope, who were there with that hug when I needed the hug, who saw my tears when my eyes were blank and dry. I feel every loss, every pain helps us mature, helps us evolve, and helps us empathize. Today, to keep my communication clear on how to console someone, I'll segregate this episode into 2 fragments. In the first one, I'll share a communication tripod from my personal closet which will help you communicate. And within this episode only will come the follow-up, the second segment on how not to communicate. It is important to know the do's and don'ts of communication when communicating to console someone. Why? Because they are fragile at that point. And your words, or I should say miscommunicated words, inappropriate words, can do more damage than benefit. Let's start with how you should communicate to console someone. One of my close friends and neighbor is dealing with pain, a lot of emotional pain, because they lost someone as I write. While I can't reduce the pain, what I can do is to show them that I understand and that I respect their feelings. My just saying, "I'm really sorry for what you're going through," can mean a lot. It lets them know I recognize they are hurting and that I'm there for them. It's like giving them a big virtual hug. So let me show you my communication tripod to communicate with the person you're consoling. It's the legs of this tripod that are going to help you help your friend regain their lost balance. Let's know these legs a bit better. So the first leg of the communication tripod is that you legitimize their pain and be there. You legitimize their grief. You let them know that you know they're dealing with something painful. You communicate that you are there. Even if you don't know what to say, Brinda, for example, just stand there. Show your face. Be there. Sometimes just being there communicates volumes. Of course, saying that you're there for them, whatever they need, is a great way of consoling your friend without being pushy. Sometimes being physically available in the proximity isn't possible. Maybe you can't hold their hand. Maybe you can't sit on their side. But anyone going through a loss can feel a very isolating, a very lonely experience. So be sure that you are there for your friend. Even if you don't live near your friend, just let them know that you are there, that they're not alone in their sadness. By just standing there and available to listen, even if they don't talk, you are comforting, you are consoling them. So being there, legitimizing their grief is the first leg of the communication tripod. Make sure you have this leg firm and standing. After this initial communication, you need the second leg of the communication tripod to help comfort your friend and console him. Let's understand this better. When we go through pain or struggle or depression, any loss, chances are that we may not be open to talking. So, there's no need to get pushy. But as a second tripod leg, you're going to communicate that you care. And how do you communicate this? You need to ask. Yes, asking is the second leg of the tripod. Just ask them if they need anything. It could just be a hug or a shoulder. Ask and give them room to explain what they're going through if they want to. Let them tell you how they feel. While you do this, hold yourself back from offering any advice or your own experiences. Ask them if they know what they want to do next. It may help them to think about how they can actually help themselves. So ask. Ask if they need anything. So the first thing, you legitimized, you validated their grief, and you were there for them. As a second leg, you asked them what you could do to make it better for them, or if they needed anything. The third and the final leg of the communication tripod that you need to communicate when consoling or comforting someone is the most important leg, and that is listen. You have validated their loss, you have empathized, you have also asked, but now it's time for you to listen. Listen to their experience, listen to what they're going through. Without trying to change their mind, without offering a solution, without passing a judgment. Encourage them while listening. You can do that by saying, maybe, if you want to tell me more, I'm there to listen. Or, I've noticed you've not been yourself. Tell me, what's on your mind? Or you can say something like, I can see this is hard for you to open up. It's okay, take your time. I'm not in any rush. And that listen means actively listen. When your friend is feeling low, having a rough patch, it is super important to really listen up. Because you want to show you're there for them. Right? So give them your full attention. Attention of your eyes, your words, your body. Make sure your body language doesn't communicate otherwise. Face them, look at them. Don't sneak those glances at your phone or the TV. Just let them know that they are your main focus when you're listening. So actively, truly listen. Show them you sympathize when you listen. Maybe you could say something like, you're dealing with a lot at this moment. Or, I'm really sorry to hear what you're feeling right now. I'm really glad you're sharing this with me. When you use the communication tripod, you will help console your friend, your family, or anyone that you care about. You will not need any script. Believe you me, there is no script. It'll only make it fake. Just doing something small to make your friend's day better can really mean a lot. If you see a way to help out without making a big deal about it, go for it. Let's say your friend is going through a tough time financially because he or she lost their job. They're struggling with the bills. Why don't you surprise them with lunch one day? You can hang out with them, lift their spirits, and secretly help out by providing a good meal. Because money is tight, right? It can make a magical difference. While you use the communication tripod that I have just shared, make sure you follow up with your friend. Look for clues about how they're actually doing. Are they keeping their room reasonably clean? Are they showering? Are they doing well in school or at work? Like, is their life returning to normalcy? These clues will actually tell you what is their state of mind. How are they coping with their grief, their pain, their hurting? If you really want to help them, this means a lot. I hope and trust my communication tripod will help you in your communication to console your friend in his challenging time. While you use the tripod for communication, it is important to realize that when we suffer a loss of any kind, job, money, illness, friendship, even death, we become emotionally weak, fragile, and different from who we normally are. So at this point in time, it is important to communicate well. And also, it is important to know how not to communicate. What is it that you should not say? Because one word or one action done wrong or said wrong at a wrong time could bring an avalanche, something you definitely do not want to bring in your friend's life. So here are some key communications that you must avoid. One communication is rejecting the other person's experiences, his feelings. Try not to listen how they feel. Try not to change how they feel. Try not to say their point of view is wrong. If somebody is talking about their experiences, their emotions, their pains, there are no wrongs. You may not experience the same situation the same way, but each to his own. We are all different. And we react differently to different situations. So there is no room for any judgment of any kind. Completely stay away from communicating in words such as, "Hey, you shouldn't feel this bad." "Oh no, you're overreacting." "Listen, it's not as bad as you think." Do not pass a judgment. The other communication we often end up doing, and which is always counterproductive, is we try to solve their problem. Hello, it's not your place. Even if you think you have a clear, a logical, a great solution, don't say it. Your friend is the one who needs to come to it on his own. Sometimes just feeling heard can be way more important than someone's advice. Imagine you're pouring out your feelings to a friend. You might not necessarily need them to solve your problem. You just want them to hear. You just want them to understand how you feel. If you're upset about something, all you want is for someone to listen and say, "I hear you." That simple acknowledgement can mean a lot. So don't offer a solution. We're not looking for a solution. Your friend is not looking for a solution. If someone you know has lost a job, don't say, "Hey, it could be a whole lot worse." Are you saying he should thank that he's lost a job? If someone you know has been diagnosed with an illness, don't say, "My friend's son got the same thing and he's totally fine now." I mean, who really asked for an example? If someone you know lost a pet, don't say, "I think you should get a new puppy." Really? A pet is like family. A pet is family. You want to go and buy or get a new family member? If your friend is going through a breakup, don't say, "You were too good for them anyway." It's not helping. We are all unique, and when we go through tough times or lose something or someone important to us, we all handle it differently. But here's the thing. How we talk to the people we love in their tough times, to console them, to comfort them, matters a lot. And this helps build or kill relationships, whether at work or in personal life. It can either make our bond stronger or break it apart. Therefore, it's super important to think carefully about how we communicate. Choose your words wisely, be smart about it, and make sure what you say really gets across the way you mean it.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Communicate 101 Speaking Writing Tips with Sarika Singh. If you want to be notified of upcoming episodes, be sure to hit the subscribe button and follow the podcast. I'll be back to share more stories, more life experiences, and more communication tips every Friday. If you want to reach me or connect with me, just put your comments in the comment box below or mail me at info@sarikasingh.in. I know you're going to rate and review this podcast, so a big thank you in advance. Stay tuned and think about what we talked today.